So, the football returned after the international break.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
For me, I don't mind international football breaking up the season at all. Probably because as an Irishman, I haven't been let down every 2 years. Unlike the English, who probably still get shivers whenever they walk past a certain supermarket. Although, this international break took the meaning of the word a little bit too literally, as Seamus Coleman's leg will testify. Cheers for that, by the way, Taylor. It's not like we could have done with our captain for the remaining qualifiers or anything.
Oh, Neil.
Ronald Koeman certainly won't be feeling the love for international football this week, after losing both Coleman and Funes Mori to injuries. And then Everton's defence proceeded to get torn apart by Liverpool. But then again, Everton could have had Maldini and Cannavaro at the back and it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. They would still have found some way to lose, considering they were playing at a ground that they haven't won at since most of their players were children. Cristiano Ronaldo won the European Championships with Portugal last summer, so naturally he was honoured with a bronze bust of Niall Quinn. Is the title race back on? Probably not. No. But hey, we have to inject a bit of excitement into the season, right? Or we all might just die of boredom. Chelsea's loss to Crystal Palace, coupled with Spurs' win at Burnley, means the gap at the top is now just 7 points. Is that all? You mean the same amount that separates Southampton from the relegation zone? Antonio Conte will probably slap his players around the training ground this week anyway, and they'll be back to normal. What I'm saying is, don't get your hopes up, Spurs fans. You've been there before. Here are some managers who have won their first 4 games in the Premier League. Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, Craig Shakespeare.
The fella who nicked me job. Didn't nick it? Nah, didn't want it anymore. He begged for it. I didn't. Shut up. What are you talking about?
Yep, turns out hanging around just long enough until your boss gets the boot actually pays off. To be fair to him, he's done a great job in stabilising the Leicester ship, but you just wonder why couldn't they have done that under Ranieri when they were, just a couple of points above the relegation zone? West Ham have given Slaven Bilic the vote of confidence, which means that he should probably start clearing out his desk and telling his wife to cancel her local gym membership. Whenever a club publicly backs their manager, it's basically their way of saying, we're rapidly losing faith in you, so buck up your ideas or we're going to give Alan Pardew a ring. Tony Pulis once again ruined the weekend for a lot of people. Jose Mourinho nearly reduced a reporter to tears, and probably Marcus Rashford when he got him alone in a room, after a goalless draw with West Brom, which saw his strikers miss chance after chance. At least he had a few kind words for Luke Shaw though, and by kind words, I mean he verbally desecrated him from limb to limb. But to be fair, I think everybody knew something was up when Ashley Young was getting games at left back, instead of the guy they paid 30 million for. Middlesbrough were involved in a football match of the weekend, which obviously means that they didn't score any goals, but hey, neither did Swansea, so they're not totally dead and buried yet. One team who might be are Sunderland, as is David Moyes standing amongst feminists.
We're just getting a wee bit naughty at the end there, so just watch yourself and you still might get a slap even though you're a woman.
Or anyone who objects to sexual remarks in the workplace, really. Celtic won the title about 6 months ago, but a 5-0 win at Hearts made absolutely sure of it. Listen, it's a league where Scott Sinclair's the top scorer, alright? Brendan Rodgers has now been linked with Arsenal. I mean, we'll just forget the last 18 months at Liverpool, will we? Fair enough, I suppose Scott Sinclair's going to be going back to Man City any second now. The big transfer story this week surrounded Eden Hazard. Real Madrid want him apparently. Do they need him? Probably not. When has that ever stopped them in the past? The club are basically the equivalent of that greedy kid who can't stop eating. So the media thought for about 7 seconds who Chelsea could replace him with. Chelsea need left winger. Pissing off Arsenal fans is hilarious. Sanchez has done nothing to quell the news, claiming that he wants to stay in London, but for a team who actually wins things. Yeah, that's helpful. Wenger's response?
There's only one team in London.
That is no way to disrespect Brentford Football Club. It's not like Chelsea haven't tried to buy Arsenal's players before, snapping up Ashley Cole in the summer of 2006. Then again, the poor guy was only on 55k a week. Sure, it's a wonder he managed to feed himself at all. The important thing is he managed to make it through that tough time. Should Arsenal cash in on Sanchez? Considering he's one of the best players in the world, and he could leave on a free next summer. Actually, come to think of it, this sounds vaguely familiar. Speaking of Arsenal, there were no planes over the Emirates this weekend, and not just because Heathrow's on the other side of London. That's a poor joke. It seemed the fans wanted to give Wenger a bit of a break from his weekly slaughtering, although Theo Walcott looked too petrified to even celebrate his goal against Man City. I think the Arsenal fans were too busy dropping some sick beats this week.
To the well-known Wenger hater, now you wanna step to the boominator. Instead of making all these banners, you need to show the boss some manners.
Self-confessed boominator, you ain't got nothing but a storage container. Coming at me like you got some following. You're not Heavy D, your real name's Colin.
Colin? What? You're a Heavy D fan? If I'm Eminem, then you're my stand. Don't wanna see Arsenal in a rut. End of the season, saying we're fast.
I think that's all we really need to say on that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, give it a share, and I'll talk to you all in a while.